And here we are again, back with another week for the Cleaner Cast, coming in hot. What's up, viewer?
This is darn near the Midnight Light Show, you know, the after dark Cleaner Cast, because we're pushing it a couple hours, but there's good reason for it. We have quite the grouping of folks tonight. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
We had to back up the time. For a special guest, had to get the return of the Smurf live on camera, so had to do some time adjustments. And we got the Phoenix coming in hot in the comment section already. Everybody, throw your Phoenix up. What kind of sound do you think a Phoenix makes? Is it a caw, or is it like a turkey gobble?
I think it's kind of like the mix between an owl and a turkey. That's my guess. I mean, American Thanksgiving's coming up, so you got to have some turkey vibes going on. So. I think it's good.
Get your Phoenix going, everybody.
Yeah,
because they are coming in hot. We got some new products coming in. Got some Black Friday sales. We got some 2.0s. If you've been watching the channel, I reviewed the soap and did a little testing with Papa Cut. Excellent stuff. So we're going to talk to them gentlemen in a minute. But let's get into the plugs, viewer. Everybody knows we're live on YouTube every Friday at 6 Central, available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to give us that subscribe, rate, and review. Promo the Cleaner 10 at the Cleaner Stash, my affiliate website. Will save you some change there and pick up all my favorite products. Or you can head over to Car Supplies Warehouse, promo Jamie 10. That's the best way to support the podcast on my side of the street. And tossing it over to you, Dewar, for the Dewar Detailing News. What you got?
Yeah, we got some one of my favorite suppliers up here in Canada, TOC Supplies or Talk Supplies, however we want to pronounce it. For Black Friday, they're going to have an open house at their warehouse in the GTA, Maple, Ontario, Friday on the 25th, and also on the Saturday. So I think that's next Friday and Saturday. So U.S. Thanksgiving down there, just a normal Friday, Saturday for us. But we've also kind of adopted the whole Black Friday thing, which is kind of tweaking into a Black Friday week, a month, quarter. Yeah. It's just, it's not even exciting anymore to some people. But TOC Supplies is a good option there for if you're in that area. I mean, certainly stop by, but online, the good old Bucky VW gets you 10% off. And for our guest today over at Carzilla, Bucky VW gets you 5% off the Phoenix E.O.D stuff. But they also do have a couple Black Friday pre-sales going on with some 15% off on a couple of their products. That's pretty exciting. But yeah, we are finally getting out of a bit of a kind of November blast of winter here. We're getting some positive temperatures this week. So the car is looking gross. It is disgusting, and I don't like it. So gonna clean that up. And I think our guest tonight has a couple options to help us out with that nasty winter grime.
Something coming next week that's going to help you out tremendously as you're entering rinseless wash season.
And I will say, for any of the guests watching here, when you bring on our other guests, make sure you're not drinking on anything, because you might spit it all over your phone, computer, TV, whatever. Just a heads up, because it's kind of a theme night, a little bit of costume action going on. That's all I'm going to say.
So I expect this one to have some good stuff in it.
Yep.
Gonna get right to it. I was thinking about doing a Black Friday, kind of podcast, because we're gonna take next week off.
Yes.
I thought about let's do a pre-recorded, but the Black Friday deals just aren't that great this year, so it's really
I think we can do a little recap on the Black Friday that wasn't the disappointment, maybe. But if there was anything good, we can kind of chat about that. Even get some live Q&A, see what people were able to pick up and see what people missed out on.
So, yeah, maybe we'll do that when we come back. But yeah, next week we'll take off first Turkey Day.
Yeah,
even though Dewar's already celebrated his Turkey Day, Canada does it a month early.
We like to be sympathetic. We do it a month before, get it out of the way. We don't like to interfere. But I think with you guys down there, once Thanksgiving hits, it's just your Christmas mode. All of December is just a blur.
Most
until
people,
the new year.
80% of everybody got their Christmas tree already up.
Yep.
Most people just skip Turkey Day. They just throw some turkey on,
Exactly.
watch a little football, get ready for Christmas. But all right, let's bring on our first guest. He is the man with the plan. He's got a taco hat on. It is the return of the Smurf. Everybody, it's Papa Smurf. What's happening?
What's going on, everybody? Hello. Welcome to another
love the hat.
Taco Smurf in the building. Jamie, Buck, appreciate you guys. How's everybody doing in the comments? I see a lot of familiars.
Mm-hmm. A couple new faces too, which is nice.
Dude, I did see a few new ones that Kimberly, I saw her at first said she drove to work on an ice rink at 20 miles an hour. That is sketch.
Yeah, that's I think that's that Chicago nastiness because I know Buffalo got hit pretty hard. Saw some pictures. The football game has been moved to Detroit, I think. So
oh boy, it's that bad, huh?
Yeah, we actually girlfriend's boss was going to Buffalo to see the game, and then now is flying to Detroit instead of Buffalo. So, unfortunate times.
Nice little detour.
He left the snowstorm that was here and is going to a whole new snowstorm.
What is that? 23 do the do, Mark? What is
20s this morning here? So if it's in the 20s in Louisiana, then it's just freezing everywhere else. How's it in California? Smurf?
It's actually it's been cold in the mornings. It's been like 40, 44, kind of. I mean, to you that's probably not cold, but to me that's a little chilly. I mean, it's not like I can't do anything chilly, but that's cold for me, but towards the end of the day, 1, 2 o'clock, it gets to 66, 70 degrees. It's been beautiful this past week, man.
Good. Well, Smurf, you took a little hiatus, but you came back. Couple videos now, removed some paint, and I think reviewed. What did you review? I don't even remember.
I know I did the Hyper Clean Cleanse.
That's right. That's it.
I did that paint? I had to remove the spray paint from my buddy's car, which was
that was interesting.
Just couldn't believe that happened, man. Honestly, I'm actually working on that Lamborghini Aveo video, and it sucked because. I had so much footage and I'm putting together a video and I was trying to edit and it kept telling me I didn't have enough space on my tablet and I've never ran into that problem. And I ended up having to clear out all the cache and data on my apps. And it was my editing app that was storing data and the cache. And I cleared everything and it deleted everything. And I was devastated, man. I was only about 11 minutes into editing the video, but it deleted all my music, it deleted all my transitions. It deleted everything. So I'm basically started from scratch. So that was kind of a low blow.
That's a big low blow. That hurts.
I was working on it, a little bit here, a little bit there, an hour here and 45 minutes here. Whenever I had free time and my son didn't have my tablet. But that was just a low blow, man. It hurt. But just to start all over again. And I was like, man. So hopefully I'll get it edited in the next week or two and get it out,
Yep. Well, it's good to see you back on the content train. We missed you there. Missed that little hiatus. But, we're good to have the Smurf back. Do you want to chime in on what do you think a Phoenix sounds like before we bring Aaron on so we can give him a proper education?
I think you guys were kind of accurate with I want to
Someone said maybe a hawk.
I might throw in like a little bit of like a I don't know. I can't even.
Pterodactyl? Maybe a pterodactyl.
Some little bit of pterodactyl with a little bit of turkey. I don't know, man. That just.
All right. Well, let's bring on the guest of the evening.
I can picture it in my head.
And we'll ask him, and maybe we'll straighten this whole mess out with what a Phoenix sounds like. But everybody, do your infamous Phoenix noise, because the Phoenix has landed. Everybody, Aaron from Phoenix E.O.D. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, everybody, what's happening? Yeah, that's it. We have actually when we were doing the logo for all of this stuff, my designer, I had sent him hundreds of pictures of a red-tailed hawk. We have a red-tailed hawk that lives in the backyard at my house, and it was pretty inspirational, especially after I seen it take out a couple of mice.
I was about to say, hope you don't have any small dogs or kitty cats running around.
No,
there.
no, but we do have we have a lot of voles, which is kind of like a mole, but it's a little bit bigger, and it just makes the backyard feel like the surface of the moon. And a couple of hawks. Woo! Nice.
Yes. I think the real answers will come from any of the Jurassic Park fans. Chris Pratt might be able to do a good Phoenix voice. Maybe in the next movie, if there's a next movie. I'm not huge on keeping up on those, but who knows? Maybe we can do a little viewer submissions for feedback. So we need a Phoenix.
Sounds like it kind of sounds like a missile. That when that hawk is doing its thing in the backyard, it's like a something like that. It's it's like a high pitched, it's a bird of prey. You definitely can, it's a very distinguished sound.
That's right. Phoenix, perfect logo for sure. So Aaron, we haven't talked to you since what was that, episode 3 or so? We had you on. We're on episode 32 now, so it's good to have you back.
I really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Working on products.
So a lot's happened since last time we had you on. That's for sure.
Indeed.
We definitely are evolving. We are definitely evolving, gentlemen.
No dying, just evolving. That's all it is.
Evolving.
Just like forward. The name implies, evolve or die, and that kind of rolls into a new release. I think you have on your background there. So
let's roll straight going on there. Hydra Rinseless Wash. I'm really, really excited and proud of all of our products, but this one, I think I had a lot more hands-on in the making of this one. I'm learning every day, and we were up. This is a good while ago. I was up at Apex Auto Wash. I was hanging out with Brian up at a shop, and we knew that this is a direction that we wanted to go in for some time now, but there was a real education that I needed to understand the differences between a rinseless and a washless, and there are significant differences between the two. And although the Hydra, the mini heads of Hydra, you can use it as a waterless. It really shines as a rinseless. I mean, that's its primary function, and that's what we really wanted to do. And I think that, I think Brian emulates it, and this is something that we tried to do for. I think we touched on it during the live stream that I did with Eric a couple of weeks ago, which was, we really want to make things for the weekend warrior, the everyday user, as well as the professional. And just learning and understanding about the differences between a rinseless and a waterless. I thought that a rinseless wash would be way more cost effective, just from the dilutability of it. And helps people, especially in the winter seasons that are able to take care of their ride. I think that a waterless is very labor intensive. And it uses up a lot of materials like towels and things of that nature, and a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So we definitely wanted to go with a rinseless with the capabilities of doing like a waterless. And then I
love the name Hydra, the mini heads. It's the perfect name. I mean,
right? That's what I thought. And you can use it as a clay lube, and that's just there's just so many different functions that you can do with this stuff. So I was really, really excited, and I know that Brian had a lot of help, or had a hand in it. He was down here last Monday. Excuse me. He was here Monday, and we finalized the formula. And it's awesome. And do you remember when Brian used to do those little pyramids where it was like the winner here,
Yep.
and then it goes to the next bracket, and the winner here goes to the next bracket, and so on.
Those
and so
were-
on.
those
he
were
would
great.
do that. He did that with Fusos. I remember when he did that with the wax on with Fusos, and that was really that was an inspiration when we were doing Glossom waxes because of how well Fusos did, and so we tried to follow that formula, reverse engineer that formula and go after it. But we did that with the Hydra, and based upon Eric, Papa Smurf, he was very influential on how we went about. What do you like? And he was a big fan of the McKees. And I think you did a video on McKees.
Yeah, he just reviewed it a couple months ago, I think. Yep.
Yeah. So that was, so we basically went around and found the industry standards, what people think are the best of the best. I think P&S just released one.
Yes.
There's McKees, there's the O&R. I think everybody, the industry standard, I think, is O&R. Everybody says O&R. So we went out and I went on Amazon and I bought all this stuff.
Hey, buddy.
I just bought a ton of different rinseless washes. And then when we finally honed in on what we thought was the best formula, we started doing blind bucket tests. I'd take 3 gallons of water and 2 ounces of product and pour it into a bucket. And then I would do the same thing with the Hydra. My field agents wouldn't know which one was which. And we tested. And if Hydra lost, then we go back to the drawing board and we figure out, what was it about the other product that was better than the Hydra? The lubricity felt better, or after it dried, how did the paint feel? There was I know that there was a bunch of competitors that got knocked out because of how much residue got left behind. So you get to learn a lot from just playing with other people's stuff.
Yeah, and going through the rinseless washes, there's surfactant ones, there's polymer ones, there's new ones now that are both. But where does Hydra fall in the line of ingredients wise of what formulates it?
So what we really wanted to focus in on with the Hydra was we wanted to have a lot of lubricity. I mean, that's Brian's cornerstone on everything. The Apex Auto Wash. It was like, it needs to be as lubricious as possible. I don't care about suds. I don't care about foam. I don't care about any of that stuff. It needs to be extremely paint protective. And when we say paint protective, we're not talking about like it's leaving a protection behind. We're talking about it needs to protect the surface so that you're not dragging dirt
from what you're trying to get off of it.
Right, exactly. So that was the first area that we really focused on, was the lubricity. And the second part of it for a rinseless wash is it needs to be able to clean, right? So I don't think there's a weekend warrior or a detailer out there that's not going to follow up with Titan, some topper or whatever. So we didn't need to focus on that. And from our experience of just playing with other people's stuff, the more stuff that you add to it, the more protections that you put into it, or the SiO2s, you can leave a lot of streaking behind. And that was a real pitfall for a lot of the products that we went up against. Was they're leaving a lot of stuff behind, and smeariness and high spots and just Tim from Shiny Light Detailing, basically he really beat it into me that it was anytime you're messing with SiO2 stuff, you do run that risk of leaving stuff behind. So that's what we focused on. Hydra is going to give you a lot of lubrication, and it's going to give you a lot of cleaning power, and that's the primary function. That's what you want in a rinseless wash. Doesn't leave anything behind. We did it in direct sunlight on black paint, and I mean it dries clean. There are no water spots. It takes care of the water spots. It's I'm really jazzed about Hydra. We put a lot of work into it, and like I said, now that I have a better understanding of chemistry, I got to play a much bigger part of it. Like I said, to the point where we were actually now with this bigger facility, the warehouse, with all of the stuff, we were actually able to make it in the warehouse. So that's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And I see you came down to a nice purple color, and I think it grape scent, and that was help from a fan vote. So tell us a little bit how that went down and how we settled on this color.
Yeah. So we did a MailChimp survey a few months ago, and I think we were doing it was a live stream that we announced it on. I mean, it was probably with Eric.
I think it was the 5-hour epic you had on Smurf's channel.
So we did 3 hours with Smurf. We did 4 hours with me. So,
yeah, I know he wanted to go for that title. I wasn't going to hold him back.
We were just talking, man. It was the apple juice. I swear it was just the apple juice.
It fuels the length of the stream. Me and you were cutting it off in an hour. So
yeah, we like to
right into this hour.
Yeah, and I think Hydra's going to be really cool. But one thing, I mean, I'm certainly not the first person to mention this, but with rinseless, I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't rinse your car, because there's still limitations to a product. And especially up here where we deal with real nasty stuff, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm doing a pre-rinse anyways, and then doing a rinseless via bucket, as a standard bucket wash with that. So, for those out there that, are getting really concerned, they're like, oh, it's going to scratch, it's going to do all this. You have to be mindful of your conditions. You have to be mindful of the look and feel of your paint and how nasty it is, and be a judge. And if you have to ask yourself the question, is this too dirty to do a rinseless? Do a pre-rinse and then just have fun with it.
You're absolutely right. I watched Brian do so my Pathfinder. It is a beater, and that's exactly Brian's approach to it. With a rinseless wash, you're really not going to get that. Like the big if you've abused your vehicle and it's got a bunch of really hardcore road contaminant and other stuff on there, a rinseless is gonna be challenging. So what I watched him do is he put a trigger in this and then sprayed it directly on the paint as you said, as like a pre-soak.
Yeah,
and then we did the 2 ounces in the bucket, and then he washed the whole thing. So he did the pre-soak first, like straight, and then he washed it off, as a rinseless, and that worked out really, really well. And like I said, it doesn't leave anything behind. It's even water spotting isn't there. It just.
I think I said when I did my McKee's video too. I think I couldn't stress enough. It's like. There's people out there that knock it, and it's just like all you got to do is have some common sense and know when to and when not to rinseless wash, and know when to traditional wash over the rinse. It's like, you drive your car through mud puddles and you got mud all over the side of your car. Of course, you're not going to rinseless wash the thing. It's like, yes, it's going to scratch. So being mindful of when to rinseless wash and when not to rinseless wash is really key, man. And like you said, knowing the condition of your paint, seeing how dirty it is, and if you got to question yourself and you're, should I even rinse this, wash it? Chances are you should probably not. You know what I mean?
And my favorite thing too is when I'm doing rinseless with the multiple that I've tried is I like to do between warm and hot water in the bucket. It's just a more satisfying experience. And I don't know, it just feels better.
And especially in
it up easier too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And as things get colder, you buy yourself a lot more time.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, and if it's because we get a lot of hot cold swings here, it'll be negative 20 Celsius, and then a couple days later it'll be plus 10 Celsius. And if it's a mild day, you're out, and I have
Celsius.
Celsius, the proper measurement of temperature. I said it here. You heard it here first.
I'm just saying, like at some point,
my tacos at Fahrenheit. So
at some point, when you become the world champion, I think you can make up your own words. That's all I'm saying. Like, back-to-back world champions. We're going with Fahrenheit. That's all I'm saying.
But
that's right.
Yeah, the above zero. Let's just call it that. And yeah, I mean, I got hot water in the garage, so we're shooting hot water out of the pressure washer. And my neighbors give me a weird look when there's a bunch of snow in the lawn, and I'm washing in the driveway. So, you know, gotta pick your battles and wave to the people walking their dogs. But
that's when you just hit them with a snowball.
Exactly. Yeah. Stop looking at me. Yep.
So let's throw it to Smurf. How did your product testing? You released the McKee's video. Aaron sent you the samples of Hydra. So how did it go? How did the testing go? How did you compare to your favorite? And how did Hydra wind up?
Well, me and Aaron I was actually on the phone with him as I was testing it. And I had 2 samples. And basically, I think what comes down to, I tested it on my GSX that has protection. I tested it on a panel that didn't have protection, because to me, if you do it on a car that already has protection, you may get false lubricity. You may say, hey, this feels really nice and slick, but that could be the protection you have on your car. So I tested it on my panel.
Unprotected for sure.
Yeah, protected versus unprotected, which most of the time, I would probably say 90% of the time, if your rinseless washing your car, it's got some kind of protection on it.
Yes.
It just makes it that much easier. It makes the sponge or mitt, whatever you choose, glide over the paint.
Helps with encapsulation.
Yes, definitely. It beads up when you pre-spray those surfactants encapsulate, and it beads up, and it just lifts all that dirt up, and it's just that much easier. So I had nothing but positive reviews on my GSX. I threw it on the panel that had no protection. I even did a 50-50 isopropyl alcohol water mix, wiped the panel down, and then just to put it on the paint to see how it felt. It felt good. The paint felt great afterwards. Nice gloss. I really I enjoyed it, to be honest.
Sure.
It smells so good. It feels like there's nothing. It looks like there's nothing in the water compared to other rinseless washes I've used. Sometimes it looks a little foggy, and you can kind of see a little bit, in the bucket or whatnot. But with the sponge that I used, I mean, it worked flawlessly, and it worked great on my GSX.
And there you go. Kind of last question there. What's the wash media of choice for Phoenix E.O.D? Are we a sponge wash guy, or are we a wash mitt? What do you think, Aaron?
I use a what is it called? A chamois mitt. I can go grab it real fast.
A chenille mitt?
Like a chenille mitt?
I don't know.
It's got all the little fingers on it that look like breads.
Yeah, it's got all the little dingleberries on it. Yeah.
Dingleberry mitt. That's what we'll call it for the rest of the show.
Aaron goes hunting that New Jersey forest looking for the dingleberries. Only the finest.
Much your wash media choice to be found.
Well, speaking of initial testing, Jamie, I think you had some Hydra in the beginning. Didn't you?
Yeah.
You were. I think I sent you a couple of samples for you to test.
Yes, you sent me an early sample. I tested it out, just like Smurf said. I tested it out on unprotected paint. So the test, and even back then, the early sample was good encapsulation, and was holding its own. But it did lack a little of that lubricity. Fell kind of back before behind the other rinseless. So glad to see you kept improving it, new and improved, or finalized, and I'm ready to try the final product for sure.
Yeah, so like that's, for me, that's part of the best. It's part of the best part of the process is basically, I have a really strong team of field agents, if you will, and and you get all of their feedback, and certain guys like certain stuff and certain guys hate certain stuff. And then, you look for a lot of the universals. Yep. Everybody seems to really focus, like, oh, they really like this. and they really like that, and they really hate this, they really hate that. And then, and then you take all of that data together, and that's, I think, really how the product, even before it hits the shelf, like that's how it evolves.
Exactly.
You
Got to
know what
get
I
in
mean?
the field.
I think that and I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and I've worked for some people, and watched a lot of videos, and I think a lot of times, and I think it's human nature to be in a position like when you're the owner of a company and you've spent a crazy amount of money and a crazy amount of time and effort to do something, that there's a tendency to get an ego.
Oh, big time.
And this is the best, and you can't tell me otherwise. And I think that that's a recipe for failure. I'm not the person, right? Like that's just the thing. It's like I'm not that. So we had a situation where it was basically one of my chemists versus one of my field agents. And the chemist was trying to convince me that this particular product was better than what I was currently using. All right, basically what it was, like, we're talking about Papa Cut 2.0, and he was telling me that the Papa Cut is just as good as the original Papa Cut. And we're going back a couple of months. This is last year. This is why 2.0 exists. So I had the chemist, and he's telling me that look at the way it finishes down. It finishes fine. Like this is the way to go. And I had one of my really, really good friends, Ryan, from Waxworks, who's one of my field agents, and he lives 20 minutes down the street from my house. So he's usually my first go-to, because it's easy to contact him. It's easy to get product into his hands. It's easy to watch him work.
Yeah, you can be there.
Right. Yep. So, and Ryan, what started this whole conversation was Ryan right out of the gate was like, it's not the same. It's not as good. So whatever this blender is trying to, send your way, it's not as good as the original. And so, so basically we're having this conversation that, well, I'm being told it's not as good. Well, I don't see how it's not as good because it's doing this and everything. And I just said, listen, you don't have to convince me. I think it looks great. I think that the paint looks great. I think that the compound did what it's supposed to do. But there's professionals out there that's all they do. And they're telling me that it's not as good. So until he signs off on it, I'm not signing off on it. Yeah. Right. So, go back to the drawing board and make it better. And when we came to an impasse, I called up Ryan, and he came out to the warehouse, and they did a blind test. They put Papa Cut on one pad, and they put Papa Cut on another pad, and it didn't tell Ryan which pad was what.
Yeah.
And he did a hood, and he goes, this is the original, this is the new stuff, and the new stuff sucks. And the guy was like, how can you tell? Like, how did you know that? And he said, and he whips out a little pin light, he's just like, let me just show you. Click. And he is like, do you see how the light right here at the focal point, how it kind of looks like a halo? That's bad, and I don't like it, and I don't want it. So
he's
out.
He's probably been sniffing the old stuff. Like, I know that scent.
Yep,
and
that's the old stuff.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But again, because of those kind of challenges, that's where you get the 2.0 from, right? You get that. You just can't settle for, this stuff is the greatest, and you can't tell me otherwise. You have to put ego at the door, and you guys. I lean you can ask Eric. I lean very, very heavily on you guys. I do. I lean heavily, and I take all the feedback from all the customers and all of the the Fab family and everybody else. I take all of your comments and your emails very personally. And if one person is having a problem, that means, just from a statistics point of view, if one person's having a problem, that means at least 10 people are having a problem, or 100 people are having that problem, and they're just not saying anything. And so, you need to root that out.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that don't speak up. It's wild. They just kind of keep it to themselves and say, hey, but I think even if you're not just going to the company directly, just networking and let's say detailing Facebook groups or just with your friends or whatever, it's good to get that feedback out there, because it's, even though you may not be directly saying something, someone you talk to might then feed it back to that person. So there's always a possibility.
Yeah.
So what is the scent? Because
there you go. Let's lock this down. What is
this does not smell like? This doesn't smell like grapes.
All right, so
smells like bubblegum.
Something else that I've been learning along the way. Again, you guys got to remember that we're only a year and a half into this right now. So there's a lot of learning curves, and there's a lot of things that I'm constantly learning. And scent is it's way more complicated than you would think it is. And I had no idea. Talk amongst yourselves, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Scents. So do you guys pick certain products based on scents? Because I like scents in products. I mean, it's more like, okay, I'm hearing feedback from a product. They're saying it's good. It's marketed well. And then, I mean, to me, a scent's always a bonus. There's certain things that I'm just like, I love the smell of that and I love using it. But it's certainly not my go-to. First, I don't like my decision.
I like the faint. Like I love the smell, but I like when, let's say for instance, when I have Titan in my IK spray bottle and I do it on that that just fine mist, you just get that subtle kind of whiff and then it goes away. I don't like the products that just stick in your nose and you're like, that's all you're smelling. Yeah, that's all you're smelling the whole time. A subtle scent that you smell, but it kind of goes away easily to where you can kind of not smell it, and then as you kind of, I don't know. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
No, I'm with you. All right. So,
all right, what you got?
When it comes to scents, like here's the scent that goes into. I'll put it in front so you can see.
Yeah, green screen's a bit tricky.
That looks like a bottle you have in the car on a road trip when you can't make a stop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the watermelon scent that
After
goes
a lot of
Titan.
apple juice.
Oh, watermelon. Okay, that's what we're calling it.
This
or
is
some
the
moonshine.
Yeah,
this is the watermelon scent that goes into Titan, and it's an oil. All right, so but you see how it's yellow in color.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it just doesn't play well with certain things. Yellow is a primary color. So you have yellow, blue, and red as primaries. And there's also certain there are certain smells that are more profound than others. Cherry is a good one. Cherry, pretty much will cover over everything. Cherry is a strong scent. Apple, as I've discovered with the Kraken, apple is a very delicate scent.
Very light.
And it's very, very, very hard. I mean, you have to dump a ton of apple scent into the Kraken to get over that natural chemical smell of what makes Kraken crack, right?
Yeah. Crackalicious.
And so it's apple is a very delicate scent, and much to my chagrin, it definitely doesn't smell as appley as I want it to.
Right.
But from a cost analysis point of view, scent is usually the most expensive part of the chemical process, unless you're dealing with like abrasives in a compound or something like that.
Yes, DD. Crack is whack.
So
yes,
absolutely. It was a close run, but purple and grape won the survey that we sent out with the MailChimp. I think that on a percentage wise, purple and grape pulled away from the crowd.
Yeah, they wanted some grape in there, so give them the grape.
Number 2 was orange and creamsicle,
I would have
And,
enjoyed some orange creamsicle.
That's all
but
right.
I
again,
would have felt like a little
vanilla,
kid again.
you know,
That's definitely what
vanilla
I
is a
voted for.
very delicate scent, and it's easy to get smashed. And so it was a tough one to also pull off, but it didn't really matter because grape and purple won the day anyway. And
Yeah,
that's right.
you know, and I'd like to think that I'm a man of my word, and if that's what's won, that's what won, right?
Yep.
I would have gone with yellow and banana. That's
I think it matches the Hydra theme. Purple, the nice little.
yeah, I think it worked out
I
well.
think so.
Yep.
So the scent is supposed to be grape, but grape was hard. Grape was hard.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going with grape bubblegum.
Great. Okay, that's
there
where
we
the
go.
Smurf nailed
So-
it.
There we go.
So we put grape into it, and it didn't really have the ability to just get over the hump. So we figured if we added bubblegum to it, you could get like a nice hubba bubba,
Ooh,
you know,
delicious.
big chew.
It smells so good. I'm telling you, like
bubblegum.
That when you crack open a fresh Big League Chew, oh man, that takes you back.
Exactly, right. And so we made this Big League Chew scent.
Oh,
And it just works so well because the color isn't a true purple. I guess it's considered lilac.
Yeah.
So
what'd you call me?
and the thing is because the base is kind of milky colored, so you couldn't really if you dumped a ton of purple dye into it, you could do it, but then again you run the risk of staining and you don't want to do any of that nonsense. So it's Big League Chew all the way to the end. If you look at the color of Big League Chew, it matches this.
It's pretty darn close.
Perfect. Yep. All right, Aaron. Let's get into. Do you have any of those purple bottles you maybe want to give away?
Yeah, I'd love to give away. So here's the deal. Everything and anything that we give away tonight, because we love giving away stuff, especially as we drink apple juice. I don't have labels, so we're going to call this like a pre-sale, a pre-giveaway. We'll give away a bunch of these Hydra bottles, but I won't be able to ship them until Black Friday.
There we go.
So how you want to do this? Do we want Smurf to come up with a question for the people? Maybe first answer?
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Papa Smurf is good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Smurf, take away.
A question. What kind of question? Oh, you guys are putting me on the spot.
I got a good one. How about when was Jamie's Cleaner Cast first aired?
Oh,
that's good.
I'm gonna have to look back myself.
We're all gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. Let's see. If this is episode 32, so if everybody does some quick math and figure out 32 weeks ago.
Detailed Depot. Hey, Jamie, can you highlight Detailed Depot?
Detailed. Do you on it?
Detailed Depot.
How does one sell Phoenix on my website?
Videos popular.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Email me, Aaron@PhoenixEOD.com, and we'll work out the details.
So 32 weeks ago, we got that going. If you give us a date, let me pull it up.
All right, I think I got it.
All right, anybody?
32 weeks
ago, March.
That's crazy. We are over half a year. That is unbelievable.
So Kimberly's on to something. She says March, but it wasn't March because that wasn't officially the Cleaner Cast. That was the TRCMA pre-show.
Yeah.
So that doesn't
you're
count.
close.
May 5th, 2022. David Nguyen.
Where you see that?
In the chat.
Yeah, I see it right there. May 5th.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Is that right?
We'll have to go back and see. Because we're mixed in the channel.
Oh, because his Cleaner Cast is mixed in with his videos, right?
Yeah, so that's okay. But no, we can always zip back in the chat if we need to. And here we go. We have an episode number 1.
There you go. Whatever that date is what we're going with.
So
I see it right here. The Cleaner Cast episode 1, Stoner Car Care.
There's your hint. There's your hint, folks. So hop on there. We have no correct. We need exact date.
I can see it right here.
And if you don't know how to get the date, once you click it on and click the description, it'll surely show you.
Yep. 17 likes, 159 views. I'm not going to say the date.
No.
Do you see the date pop up yet? Because I don't know myself.
Nope, I haven't seen it yet.
I do. Date.
Get the typing, people. But yeah. Let's see.
Close. It's been close.
We will say that he the date that the video went up. I think it may have been different when we broadcasted it.
Yeah, whenever I uploaded it to YouTube.
Uploaded it to YouTube.
Because we were on Instagram at first, so that even complicates things even further.
Yeah. So
I'm just going by
that I was going to pick such a complicated question.
Yeah.
I'm just going by upload date of the video.
There's Mr. Ryan Mulhern.
There it is.
This. Boom. April 19th.
Fantastic. It couldn't have happened to a better guy.
I don't know. That's my Phoenix.
Yeah, we're gonna. So Eric's gonna buy a Black Friday MP3 player, do a sound recording with that sound on repeat, and just send that along with that bottle. I think that's
everything.
A good idea.
As soon as you open it, it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
So there you go. What are you gonna send Mr. Ryan?
I'm going to send him an 8-ounce bottle of the Hydra.
There you go, Ryan. Enjoy the rinse.
Also works great as a waterless wash as well, straight out of the bottle.
I mean, waterless. Yeah, straight out the bottle. Yep.
It works phenomenal.
256 to 1. You can use it as a drying aid, use it as a glass cleaner. I mean, the many heads of Hydra. But all right, I think that wraps up Hydra. Let's get into the story of these new upgraded products, because I just reviewed one on my channel, the Apex Auto Wash. And already it was one of my favorite soaps, but now it's highly concentrated. So, Aaron, tell us the story of how Phoenix E.O.D. never settles for second place and kind of coming up with the 2.0 version.
Right. So, I think that a lot of you guys know the story a little bit already. So basically, it's odd that it came out in August, but in August, Pan the organizer did a best product review.
He's on that Canadian timeline, so they already celebrated Thanksgiving in October. These guys just have their own rules.
We're polite. We let you have your holiday. We don't interfere. We share Christmas. That's about it.
That's also an interesting story. You guys at least do a Thanksgiving, right? I mean, you have something to be thankful for in Canada.
Yes, we do. We are thankful and
survived the snowstorm.
Yep. Yeah.
Good.
What's up, Cash? How you doing, brother? But anyway, birthday.
Continue.
Yes. Sometimes we do some virtual Thanksgiving because we physically cannot make it.
So, I'm sure you have to dig yourself out.
Yeah, exactly.
So Pan the organizer did a best product review of 2022, and he put although Titan did win first place as best drying aid, which was fantastic.
Hard to beat.
He ranked my soap as number 2.
Ooh,
and
number 2.
He said number 2, and the thing is that he was like, it's just, I mean, like really, really, splitting hairs. He's gonna give it to another guy, and right out of the gate, I was incredulous because it was just like, they're twice as expensive as my stuff. That price alone, it should be number 1. Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, you haven't lost any sleep over that at all.
Yeah, totally.
Not a minute. Not a minute.
So it's kind of like, all right, well, if we're number 2 by such a minuscule measurement,
yeah.
I mean, I should censor myself. It was just like, We're gonna go and we're gonna
good.
bury the competition. I don't care. I don't care what. And the thing is that I am in such proxy to Brian from Apex.
Right.
He lives and works an hour and a half away from me. I'm pretty much there every other Friday. There's a restaurant right by his shop that serves amazing clam chowder. So
Chowder.
I'm like, chowder. So I said, Brian, can I in some way, shape, or form encourage you to come down to the warehouse and let's work on this project. We have the bar is so close. Let's we now have the facility to do whatever we want. We can we play with all kinds of stuff every day, different from all-purpose cleaners, soaps, or whatever. Sure. And let's do it. We have the base formula, so let's make it better. And how do we make it better? It's kind of like one of those things where it's like you make it so much better that it's not even close anymore. Like if we're talking about just
blow it out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just destroy anything that even remotely comes close to this. And so that's what we did. And it's easy to start with like the basics. All right, so we want to talk about lubricity and we want to talk about cleaning power.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just start pulling the string on the sweater. And so we made Apex Auto Wash 2.0. And this stuff is so over the top. It's kind of ridiculous. It's one of those things where you just go, what is it? We were talking about Jurassic Park earlier. It's like the scientists were so concerned about whether they could, they never stopped to ask if they should. And that's what we did. We were like, how far can we go with this soap? And there's a YouTube personality out there. His name is Doug. He does it's called Detail It.
Dougie.
One of our podcast pals for sure.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago. That was awesome. But we're having a conversation on the phone, and I was talking in hyperbole. And you guys know me. You know that I can I'll oversell something because I get really excited about stuff, and I'm just like, it does everything. You can do it. I trust me. So I swear to God, I can do it. Yeah, JB, absolutely. Eric, let's do this. Well, you're gonna be.
I got a tri-tip on the smoker. I got a reverse steer, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so the point of the story is, I'm talking to Doug, and I'm just like, a thimble. You can cut this 600 to 1. A thimble will fill a bucket of soap. And so,
excellent video.
So this guy goes off, and he's like, well, we were talking to Aaron, and I'm gonna call him out. I'm just gonna call him out. So he on video fills a thimble with soap, throws it in a bucket, and then fills the bucket, and there's just foam everywhere. I couldn't believe it. Like I honestly, I was speaking in hyperbole and just kind of talking out of my ass, and he called me out, and it exceeded my expectations. It was just my jaw was on the floor. Like I knew it was good soap. I knew it was great. I knew that it kicked the ass off of everything that's out there, but I didn't know how good it was. And I'm immediately getting called from my marketing guy. Hey, we need to increase the price on this stuff because this is old. And I'm like, that goes against who I am and what I am. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So you win. So it's a win for everybody.
There you go.
It's really, really good soap. It is so like it's hard to put a label on the bottle because it's so slippery.
Like I said, it was already one of my top soaps for sure, and now it's just like really good.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, Tim did a video as well as To Detail It did a great video on it.
Yeah, for real. Tim has been awesome. I would be remiss if I didn't give him a solid singular shout out. As far as field agents are concerned, Tim's background is engineering. So he lives in South Carolina, so it doesn't cost a terrible amount of money to overnight him stuff. And because of his engineering mind, he's been on your show too. You guys just did his
couple weeks ago.
His
detailer is absolutely legit. I mean, 100,000% legit.
For real. And he's got such a great scientific mind.
Yeah.
And as an engineer,
very humble too.
For sure. When you assign him a project, he will give you the most detailed feedback. I mean, and it's broken down as an engineer would break it down. Okay, it does this, it does this, it does this, it doesn't do this. It works great. You know, the temperature was 78 degrees and the humidity was 61%. Like, it's insane the amount of detail that he gives back. And I am so lucky and so grateful that he is on my team. He's been instrumental in all of these products, just getting it into his hands and then getting his scientific detailed feedback has been great. Yeah.
And that brings us to Papa Cut got a little bump as well. So tell us a little bit about Papa Cut.
It got a great revision.
As you discuss that, I'm going to pop up live chat Q&A. Chat, if you got questions, start sending them in, and I'll line them up. And Aaron, tell us a little bit about Papa Cut 2.0. And Papa Cut, if you want to chime in as well on Papa Cut, go ahead.
Sure. Real fast. Do the do. 23 do the do. First and foremost, thank you very much for defending me in a couple of different chat groups. That was awesome. I really appreciate you going to bat for me. Second of all, I don't think I've tested it in a sprayer yet because that's not what it was designed for. But I'm excited to try it. Maybe I'll do it this weekend, see what happens. Papa Smurf recommended a really cool pump foamer that I use on all kinds of stuff. So I'll test it out and see how it works. But I've never tried it that way.
I know the version.
I think he's asking how long is it good for?
It's fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine in a pump sprayer. I mean, I leave my rinsers, washers in my pump sprayers. Yeah. I mean, I've had my McKees over here in this HDX pump sprayer for like 3 months. Not an issue at all.
Yep.
All right, Pop Cut
2.0.
All right. Okay. So, not to pull the curtain back too far, but I think that I have a reputation of being as transparent as possible. I've had some different issues with different blenders, and until I can pull everything in-house, which is the goal at the end of the day, I mean, as far as business models are concerned, I want to be Griot's Garage. I think that they have a phenomenal business model. I think they have a reputation of being an upstanding company. They're family owned and organized, and they do everything in-house. And I just really, really respect them and the products that they put out.
Sure.
They're top notch. Top notch. Griot's Garage.
Absolutely.
So, to aspire to be like them and then someday be better than them, because I mean, that's what the American dream is all about. So that being said, until that happens, I use what is known as toll blenders, where basically I have a recipe and I give that recipe to a bakery and I ask them to bake me a cake. And I have really, really high expectations of what my cake is supposed to taste like and look like. And if you can't perform, I'm going to find a different bakery.
Poor Miller Detailing.
Sour grapes. So anyway, so that being said, when I ended up having, because of the toll blender that I was using was great. But they had some internal issues that they couldn't get out of their own way on, and so I ended up having to seek out a different bakery.
Sure.
And so at that point, then you go out to like 14 different bakeries, and you go, okay, I have this recipe. Who can make the best cake?
Yeah.
And that's when we got into, like I said, I got into that argument about the Papa Cut.
Sure.
About the original Papa Cut.
My field agents are telling me that this Papa Cut is not as good as my original Papa Cut. Do better, or I'm going to keep shopping. Right. So that's what we ended up doing, and so the blender that I'm using now, he hit this thing out of the park. I mean,
baker extraordinaire.
Yeah, he was like, all right, here's your formula, and here's what I can do with your formula.
And that's what we like to hear.
Damn. He's like, we made it a little bit more aggressive, and it finishes down way, way, way finer than it did before. Like,
which is crazy because it was already
which is crazy because we used your formula as a jumping on point, and then it's kind of like using the different abrasives that we have access to, we can make it finish down as like a true one-stepper. And like, I remember working at my old company, the old job, and there would be so many customers that would come in and they're just looking for a one-stepper. And it's like, that one-stepper doesn't exist. If you're going to do the work and you're going to do it right, you need to go through all of the steps.
Sure.
And it wasn't until like probably 4 or 5 years ago that diminishing compounds really came on the scene.
Yeah.
And the science behind the diminishing compound is you have a really big, soft particle, and then you have a really, really tiny, hard particle. And as the machine is, spinning around, that small particle is banging into that big particle, and it's making it smaller. It's breaking it apart as it goes down. And so if you could have like a really, 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 really tiny, tiny, super hard dark matter particle that just obliterates the big particles, you can make it finish down really, really, really fine. So we take the properties of the original Papa Cut, which was you need to have a really long cycle time. I mean, I remember going back and forth with Eric about, cycle time needs to be better. Cycle time needs to be better. It's a good it's a good compound, but the cycle time is terrible. You need to make a better cycle time. So you have this really great cycle time, and now you have two particles that interact better with each other, and they're given the time to actually work with each other to break that down. I mean, it's amazing. Well, Jamie, you've got some, don't you?
Oh yeah.
What did you think?
Phenomenal. Like I said, I've cleaned up some vinyl with it this week. Cleaned up that orange Corvette. Phenomenal.
You did that truck too, right? The hood on that truck. Oh man,
that was a disaster. Yukon. You had to cut through. I did have to two-step that with Papa Cut because you had to cut through the oxidation first. But yeah, it was tremendously bad.
That was terrible. Papa Cut 2.0 is legit. I put it side by side on the hood of that the roof of that Aveo with the Koshkumi Heavy Cut, and it cut just as good. But the side with Papa Cut finished down and was so much more glossy. Just by the eye, I could see. I said, "Holy cow!" Like, I mean, yeah, they cut, pretty well together, But the Papa Cut finished down so glossy. I said, "Damn, look at that, man! That's crazy!" Like,
I don't know if you saw the video or the pictures that I posted, but I was up at Apex. He was doing a training session, teaching a bunch of guys, the basics on detailing. And he used Papa Cut on a Jaguar, and it got a 106 on the gloss meter. I was like, "What?
You're just shining a light in there at that
giving you a 106 on the gloss meter? Are you kidding me?" Stop.
I mean, we're getting to a point where like I'm cutting with just these one-step compounds that are coming out, and they're getting better and better. and Papa Cut's leading the charge right now with the version 2. And then I'm just coming in with a primer polish, and that's my second step. And then you skip the panel wipe and just coat that
right
thing
over
up.
it.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
coming
was,
out phenomenal.
I mean, the second half of that equation is we have to refine the fabulous polish. And I think that even though we're still a few months away from that release, we've got some stuff that we've been working on, and it's like a true jeweler. Like, because of the way Papa Cut finishes down as fine as it is, fabulous polish, it needs to be tinkered a little bit too. And so we're looking at, I mean, we've got some magic going on in the lab, and this jeweling polish is out of control.
Yeah,
it's just out of control.
It's gonna be for your award-winning car shows, right?
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna take Pan. I'm gonna just Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm a Phoenix. You gotta let me fly. Ah, yeah.
Aaron's gonna be waking his way up to Quebec to the Pan the Organizer HQ, and he'll be telling them what's up. He'll be on camera for his cameo. He'll be holding a little trophy.
Yep.
Making a little victory speech.
Yep.
But, a little Phoenix trophy like this.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, it'll be Papa Smurf with the taco hat, gold.
Hey, speaking of which, I got all of the 4 horsemen to sign on board to coming down to the Southern
SDC.
The Southern Details.
All right. Well, I've got to plan that out as well, and hopefully I'll see y'all there. I'm getting out this next year. It's go time.
Yeah, I got all 4 horsemen. So, like, right now, it's basically just, at this point, it is just a. Are we going to do because they're asking me if I want to do a panel. I'm like, how much is the panel?
There you go. Yeah.
But I would love to have the 4 horsemen be able to do a Q&A in a room for everybody. That would just, I think.
Yep.
That would be pretty cool.
I think I'd be done phenomenal at that point.
Yeah. Well, I've got one more question for Papa Cut, and then we'll move on to the final question of the show, and we'll wrap this up. We've exceeded the hour. That does not happen often.
Yeah.
Hey, got to let the Phoenix fly. Yeah. So absolutely. My final question is Papa Cut version 2. Are we talking solvent-based, water-based, safe for trim? Let's wrap that up, and then we'll.
So it has a little bit of solvent in it, but not a terrible amount. And it doesn't leave a white residue behind. It's great for trim. It can work on all that stuff, especially those piano bars, as you guys like to call them. So there is some solvent in it. But that's not what it's that's not the heavy lifting. And as far as I again, I'm not the detailers, but I know that, like, as far as like washing the pads are concerned and things of that nature, it rinses away. Like, pad cleaning is super easy with all of those things. So those being those are the key points being, the residue, especially on plastic, and water soluble. Yes, those are all checked. Those boxes are all checked.
Yeah. So my other favorite one step is actually solvent based. So that's, I think you need some solvents in there, but I'm glad yours, safer for that trim, makes the job a little easier. So number one now.
Cleanup is such a cinch. Zero dusting. And again, there's none of that white residue stuff left behind, especially if you're you go over the line and you get into the plastic, you're fine. And as Eric will attest to you, those headlights and things of that nature that are plastic, no problem.
Yeah. Perfect. And Rob L hitting us with the last good question. We'll see if you drink enough apple juice yet. It's, are we going to win some of that new soap?
Why not? Sure. Yeah, I'm always into apple juice. Yeah,
I did. I was kind of anticipating this, and I came up with a question. I think
hit us with it, viewer.
We're ready. So, in spirit of tradition, with our good friend Aaron with Phoenix E.O.D, our first cleaner cast with Aaron, it was on. It was about 6 months ago now, back in May. The first person to yeah, absolutely. The first person to tell us how many likes that video got,
there you go.
Can get a little bottle.
Hey, speaking of which, you guys need to like this video because
Yes, absolutely.
what is up with that?
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I mean, hop over to Papa Smurf channel, give him some love too if you haven't already done it.
So while we're
Appreciate
waiting on that, Aaron, tell us the Black Friday sales and when can we order this Hydra?
The Hydra. So again, I'm waiting on the labels. The labels are going to be. It's going to be tight, but they'll be in next week. And so I figured just to kind of tie it all in because I'm a very.
Oh, we have a winner.
There you go.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Let me pull up the winner here. Ramiro GM.
Miro GM.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
How do you want him to get a hold of you? Aaron
Boom.
at Phoenix.
Aaron
Boom,
at Phoenix
baby.
E.O.D. Yeah.
Aaron Phoenix E.O.D. There you go.
Beautiful.
Mark Kelly.
Everything's going to be released on Black Friday at midnight.
Ooh, spicy. There you go.
Chances are I'm going to, open the gates on Thanksgiving, but
right.
You want the sale, because the sale is automated, that won't go into effect until midnight Thanksgiving Day. Or
what time zone are we talking? We got 4 time zones going
Eastern.
on right now.
Everything's Eastern.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
World champions.
That's
Eastern
the
time.
ultimate.
Literally, Are we all in? We're in 4 different time zones right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct.
We got the whole span covered.
We got Pacific. We got Mountain.
We're time
Central.
traveling.
That should have been one of the questions. How many time zones are in the chat?
I'm calling you from the future.
Yes.
So,
to let you know that tacos are just as good.
But I think once I think a tradition of Thanksgiving is overeating. I think that's a common theme. So I think once you get your fat pants on, your sweatpants, be on the couch, on your tablet, your phone, your laptop, do a little shopping over on Phoenix E.O.D. Get some.
Yeah, so we're going to do 30% off of ceramics and 20% off of everything else. Ceramics, I think, that's pretty much where a lot of detailers make their bread and butter on ceramics. And so, my way of saying thank you to them is to really, give you the best bargain that I can for ceramics. And so we're going to do 30% off of ceramics and 20% off of everything else.
I can't lie. My favorite part about Thanksgiving, honestly, is not only the food, but the leftover fried turkey sandwiches, man. I look forward to those so much. Man.
You're probably gonna smoke your leftover smoked turkey.
Yeah,
that thing is just gonna be eaten pure smoke.
Yeah.
Hey, Buck, you said something earlier. I think we were backstage when you said it, and you were talking about the significance of Thanksgiving or the lack thereof. So, and there was a radio guy that I was listening to today that basically said that Thanksgiving and Christmas are the only 2 real holidays.
Right. Yeah, because it's
I agree.
The world is kind of, as soon as Thanksgiving hits, I think overall work production slows down. People are just getting ready for the holidays, and it just it's like time stops. So.
It's funny for me especially, and I mean anybody that follows the Phoenix story. Thanksgiving and 4th of July are my 2. And they center 100% on my grandfather. He passed in 2003. But those were his holidays. He was, he was really patriotic guy. He served in the Great War. The Great War. So that, that covers World War II, but our 4th of July. But, Thanksgiving was always a day for family.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And that was his other big thing was there was nothing more important than family. I remember, he would rack his knuckles on the table and family takes care of family. That's it. Like there was never a discussion. If somebody was in need of something, didn't matter. Family takes care of family. And I think Thanksgiving really is the pinnacle of that.
Sure.
And so, that's why we go as high as we do on the sales is because, the Phoenix family, you guys have all supported me. You guys have all taken care of me. And it really is, this really is a community. Everybody in this chat room, they all know each other, and everybody that's in Eric's chat rooms, they all know each other. It's just it really is a community, and the only real way that you can say thank you is to pay it forward. And this is a shameless plug, but I am doing a live stream next Saturday with Fab the organizer.
Fab the organizer.
Fab the organizer. It's the American knockoff.
Actually,
folks.
it was Fab that introduced me to Pan, so that's that connection. But anyway,
the YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for Fab the organizer.
Wait, so is it a Pan live or a Fab live?
It's a Fab live. Y'all.
There we go. Right? There we go.
Sorry.
There you go. Well, that's gonna wrap us up today, fellas.
We're doing. I completely lost my train of thought, but the point of the story is
live
that.
Stream.
Well, I know the live stream, but I don't remember what I was talking about.
Okay.
I think you'll be talking about some deals. Maybe Fab's throwing some deals too. Who knows?
Apple juice is kicking in.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? All I know is that we're whatever.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up for the year of 2023. Phoenix family, we got to let the Phoenix fly. Get the word out. Share the videos. I just reviewed Apex Auto Wash. Go share it. Get your cacas on. Let's spread the word of some Phoenix E.O.D, man. Let's blow them up. Smaller brand, and I think some of the best stuff out there. I mean, just hands down. Like,
thank you,
definitely.
What,
appreciate you
what
guys
we're doing here.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, I just want to say thanks to you guys. Each three of you.
Thank y'all for coming on.
Heck of an effort coming. You're the one that made it. So
yeah, but at the same time, like every time that I've needed any kind of feedback, I needed any kind of just moral support. Things it gets tough, especially when you're looking at the finances and you're just like, what's next? And you guys have always been there. Like there's really been a support group here and a family, and I really appreciate all three of you guys and everybody in the chat room. So,
likewise, brother. Likewise.
There we go.
That's all right. Do it. You can follow Papa Smurf at Papa Smurf. All the things. I don't even know he's got like 2 or 3 Instagram handles, but at Phoenix E.O.D, all that good stuff. And everybody, let your Phoenix flag fly. Everybody join me in a final caca. On the next one, we're taking next week off for Turkey Day. We'll see y'all on the next one. See you later.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, indeed.